Hey there, good morning, George. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. The heat and humidity. Well, the heat's still here, but the humidity's backed off a little bit.
Hello, good morning, friends. We are live on Facebook, but doing some mic checks. We'll be right with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on in, come on in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, George. It is time for After GMS at 7:45 on this Wednesday morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of August. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris. We have meteorologist Christian Morgan, who's live at Sedgefield this morning, and meteorologist Ed Matthews, who's in our weather garden.
All right, it looks like Christian is setting up spot in Margaritaville. I'm excited to see
that.
what is on tap. No margaritas, of course, at 7:45 in the morning, but you got some fun stuff planned.
I'll tell you what, this is probably the quietest I've ever seen Margaritaville. It's still early. The Pro-Am starts today, but all the festivities, of course, get going with the Wyndham Championship today. That Pro-Am starts today, and a couple folks that you may know, a couple folks from the Triad right here this morning that I've seen so far. Will Zalatoris is on the tee, and Chris Lane is going to be here around lunchtime. His tee time is just after 12 o'clock. So, of course, we'll be checking back in with you for noon this afternoon as well on WFMY News 2. Right now, let's get a quick check on that forecast, though, as you head out and about this morning. It actually feels really good out at Sedgefield this morning. Yes, the temperatures are still around 70 degrees, but the humidity is backed off just a little bit. That's making it feel pretty good to be outside, especially out here at Sedgefield Country Club. As you look live over the Triad right now, plenty of sunshine and Carolina blue sky that we'll see, but we will see some of those clouds starting to bubble up a bit as we go throughout the afternoon. That will be no mistake about that. Take a look at where we are so far as our 90-degree days. We've had 28 on the year so far. We average about 37 of those, so there's still plenty of time to go with that, and we're going to add another 90-degree day to the mix for today. Temperatures right now out the door, 71 degrees in Greensboro, 70 in Winston-Salem. We're at 71 down in Asheboro right now, and 71 in Lexington as well. Of course, well on our way to the 90s today. And guys, if you can hear me in the studio, I'm having a little issue right here. If somebody can just advance me to the next graphic, I would appreciate that. Should take us to our dew point map, which shows you that our dew points are in the 60s right now this morning, and that's not humid, but it's a whole lot less humid than we have been over the last several days. And of course, as you know, every little bit helps so we can back off some of that humidity. We really don't have any triggers for storms today, as high pressure still remains largely in control of our weather, and that's going to kind of suppress our storm chance and actually keeps our humidity at bay for a couple more days. However, as we go into the end of the week, as we go into your Friday and on into your Saturday, we're going to start to see that chance for storms start to come back. That high pressure is going to start to move a little further away from us, and that's going to allow more humidity to build in. That's going to allow more heat to start to build across the area as well, and that'll send our storm chances going up over the course of your Friday and into your Saturday as well. By Sunday, that high might start to move back closer to us, and that would suppress our storm chance a bit by the time we get into the weekend. So, if you're coming out to the Wyndham Championship, of course, make sure you're keeping tabs on the weather from time to time, especially over the course of this weekend. We will have all the radar updates for you and all the looks at radar for you to keep you updated on that. And of course, that 7-day forecast is about what you would expect for the month of August. It's hot. We're going to see the humidity come back. We're going to see those scattered storm chances again by the afternoon. But temperatures are a little bit at bay. We're not seeing any crazy mid-90s with all the crazy humidity like we had for the last several days. We'll see our temperatures up around 90 degrees, hovering in the upper 80s to near 90 through the weekend and on into next week. And it does look like that storm chance will come back down a bit by the time we kick off early next week on Monday and Tuesday, guys. So about what you would expect for Wyndham weather, and things are getting busy out here. It's going to be an awesome week and an awesome weekend to be out at Sedgefield Country Club, and a big weekend for the Triad and North Carolina all encompassed into one.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about that Wyndham Week well underway right here. A big deal for not only Sedgefield Country Club, but the entire surrounding Triad area. Today, the competition for the coveted Sam Snead Cup kicks off with the Pro-Am, which means the pro players play with amateur players in our area who sometimes pay big money to play with them. The trophy is named after the World Hall of Famer who won the Wyndham Championship, Sam Snead, a record 8 times. By the way, Snead and Tiger Woods, here's a Jeopardy question for you. They're tied for the most all-time wins on the PGA Tour with 82.
So Wyndham Week, I don't know if you can hear me now. You can hear me. Wasn't my fault, just saying. Okay, Wyndham Week is awesome for golf fans and business owners as well. Several Triad shops are counting on more customers this week. We spoke with the general manager of Box Seat Sports Bar and Grill, who says staff have been preparing for months, and they're so grateful to see so many people visiting this area.
My biggest takeaway from Wyndham Week is how much fun it is, because as busy as it is and labor intensive, it's just really good to see all the people out.
Well, the tournament runs through this Sunday. Make sure you watch the latest updates on the WFMY News 2 app, and the championship rounds Saturday and Sunday air right here on WFMY News 2. It's a good opportunity to see Greensboro on the national map. Well, I mean, it's already on the national map, but on the eyes of the world as people watch from all over what our city can do, and the awesome tournament that we put on every single year.
Yeah, you know, Sedgefield really is the place to be this time of year. It is beautiful out there. The course is awesome. Donald Ross inspired course. It's amazing, and it's hard to play. Christian can attest to that. I know he's done some practice rounds out there for various things. Like, this is an interesting course for a lot of the pros. It's very unique on the PGA Tour, right?
It is a really unique course, guys, and really difficult too. I've played it a couple times over the last couple months with different events out here, and of course we had a Wyndham Media Day about 2 weeks ago. It is a tough course, not only because of the lay of the land, but it's also these greens. If you play golf, these are some fast greens. I mean, they're just like rolling a golf ball on glass, and that wasn't even before they set the before they set the holes and before they set the tees for the pros that are here today. You know, that was just regular amateur people like me trying to play golf. So it's a tough course, and it's actually a hard course to walk. Not only, you know, is it tough to play, but it's tough the endurance. You know, a lot of these players really have to have the endurance not only to go one day and walk one round of golf. They got to do it today for the Pro-Am, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday and Sunday too. It's a really hilly course, and it's a tough one to walk, so you definitely got to be in shape to do it.
Yeah, I've never played at Sedgefield, but I can't wait for that opportunity to one day happen. I will say, walking the course following the tournament is also difficult.
It is.
And it amazes me how many women wear heels.
I know.
I'm like, what's going on?
Not I.
Not me either. I'm like, I'm always wearing sneakers or some, you know, loafer or flat, you know, to the golf course. If I'm not playing, you know, that's what I'm wearing. If I'm playing, I'm wearing golf shoes. But it amazes me. And I'm like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't get it.
And you get it. You know, we always have to have the good walk-in shoes to really enjoy the full experience of the Wyndham. It's amazing, too, to see the fan groupings, fans who come out for specific players. I remember when Tiger Woods came out a few years ago, and it was just this mob of people following him all throughout the course.
Yeah, it's a very important and very interesting golf tournament, but it's also a huge social event. It's just a big party, and you just happen to be watching golf during the party. So it's really a lot of fun. No high heels, ladies. Yeah, sneakers. Yeah, you know, not a beauty pageant out there. We're just going out there to have fun, and make sure you got the sunscreen as well, because you can collect the sun on the old nose and not even realize it through the day.
Yeah, I see most of them in all fairness, at Margaritaville. They're kind of posted up.
They just stay there all day.
Pretty much. You know, I guess you would
could, I
have to.
guess.
Right, exactly. That's kind of, you know, everybody has their different thing. You know,
Yeah.
some people will stay at Margaritaville. Some people will, you know, walk the green. Some people bring chairs and will sit down at a certain spot and not move
Right.
the entire time. So you got to have your different thing.
Yeah, Christian, I think that's because there's a lot of great live music there at Margaritaville. It's been called different names over the years. I remember when Jimmy Buffett showed up and surprised fans there.
Yes.
We're hoping maybe Chris Lane will do the same. I know he already played a charity concert the other night benefiting some of our local children's hospitals. But hey, maybe he'll be inspired to start singing on stage. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, guys, I've been looking. As soon as I walked in here, I don't know if you can see it behind me or not, but there's already instruments up on stage. So the band is already set and ready to go for whoever shows up here today. I don't know if there's any drumsticks back there, but I may jump back there in a little bit and see, test them out, you know, just to make sure they're good. But Chris Lane, yeah, he's expected to be here and playing at noon.
Yep.
And then there is that concert over at Piedmont Hall in Greensboro later tonight, too. And that's the first time they've ever done that. And that, of course, all goes in conjunction with the Wyndham, too. Will Zalatoris is here. That's a local name, played over at Wake Forest University. Harold Varner III played at East Carolina, still in North Carolina. And I'm sure there will be some other surprises throughout the day here at the Pro-Am. Not only today, but, of course, throughout the week. You never know what can happen. But like you guys mentioned, it's an absolutely perfect place to be, even if you don't really understand golf or know a lot about golf. There's so much to do in the way of entertainment. There's Margaritaville here, and there's so many other areas throughout the course. It really is just a great way to have a good time. You can actually learn a little bit about the game too.
Yeah, absolutely. So my friend Dana is on here. We're having a side conversation about women in heels at the golf course, and she said they are not there for the golf. And I said, what do you suppose they're there for then? So I'm waiting for her to respond because this is hilarious. There are so many people who, Bobby then chimed in and said they're looking for a man.
Oh, well, I think most of the ones on the tour are taken.
I also do believe that, yes, yes.
Hey, Christian, what about the fan experience this year? What are some of the fun things that we can do out at Sedgefield?
Well, you know, they always have the big sand castle out here. And it used to be just out here, just in front of the clubhouse, but they've actually moved that around the course a bit. And it all kind of goes in conjunction with the Wyndham Rewards and the Wyndham Points Palace that they have set up now. So if you go to that sandcastle, the more you go around the course and the more of these attractions that you see, the more points that you can gain on an app. It's really easy to do. You can scan it on your phone and you gain all those points through the Wyndham app, and it actually goes towards, you know, maybe cheaper hotel rooms or cheaper travel when you go somewhere if you stay on a Wyndham property. So they moved that around. Of course, the Sunbrella deck is here as well. We have Margaritaville, which we're standing inside of right now. And there's also the fan pavilion just on the 9th green as well. There are so many things to do. There's entertainment, there's food, there's drinks. It's just a really, it's a full day experience too. If you're going to come out here, make sure you give it the time. You know, don't come out here for an hour or two and expect to get the full experience. It really is something where you need to spend a day, because you can spend an entire day out here and still not see everything. And that includes not even seeing the golf. Just lots in the way to do of entertainment. That Points Palace is big this year. And of course, in the Wyndham Rewards, that you get those of all those different little areas and kiosks that you visit. That's a big part of the entertainment as well.
And this course is so open and friendly that, you know, the pros can really just walk up to you at any point and say like, hey, what's going on? You're like, are you talking to me? So yeah, exactly. It's just such a more, it's like a community event more than it is like, you know, what you see sometimes at some of the other courses across the nation. I just feel like it's just more personable here, where, you know, everybody's like kind of chill and they're ready to talk to you and have fun and kind of play around with you a little bit.
Yeah, and it has changed a lot over the years. I mean, it's become highly publicized. It's even changed names over the course of the years.
True.
But obviously a huge deal for Greensboro economically as well. Everybody benefits.
Oh, absolutely. We certainly welcome everybody to our community that's associated with the Wyndham Golf Tournament. You know, I remember way back when it used to be the Kmart GGO. How many people remember that? And it was also over at Forest Oaks. And even before we had a regular noon show here at WFMY, we would go out and do a noon show out there. And I think one thing that struck me was the number of celebrities that came to town. And of course, things change, you know, new celebrities come to town for the event and all that. But over the years, I was able to interview or meet a lot of the stars on The Young and the Restless. So I was pretty excited about that. So like I said, it's a celebration of golf. It's a great time, whether you're into golf or not. You can go to Sedgefield and just have a wonderful, wonderful outing.
Yeah. Right. A lot of people kind of remembering the former names of the Wyndham, formerly the GGO. Yep. I remember that. Scott Lynch remembers it being called that, and the Greensboro Chrysler Classic. So it's come a little ways over the last few years. All right, we are going to get to... I'm sorry? Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to tell you guys, you know, this morning during the Good Morning show, at one point we were actually over on the 9th green, just in front of the clubhouse there, and you guys were talking about all the names that have been here over the years and how it's changed. And it's cool to see a lot of those plaques. You know, Arnold Palmer has a plaque here. Brent Snedeker has a plaque here for a record that he actually broke on Wyndham. Actually had the lowest score that's been recorded on this golf course here. So there's a lot of history at Sedgefield, not only on the course as a whole, but also for the Wyndham and what Ed used to be called the GGO. And of course, it has changed courses. But there is a lot of history of golf here in the Triad, more than I think some people really realize.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here and a bright future as well, as we look forward to this huge event every single year.
All right, we will talk much more about this as the tournament gets underway. Again, the Pro-Am this morning and round 1 tomorrow. But right now, we do have to catch you up on some local headlines. Did you hear about this? The AAU says the Junior Olympic track meets will resume today at Truist Stadium in Greensboro after a fight caused a stampede at an event yesterday. Look at that. Police say a fight broke out at a souvenir tent. We talked with someone who was there, and that person said a few loud noises are what sparked confusion. People then ran for cover. EMS checked 11 people, 3 of whom went to the hospital with minor injuries. Winston-Salem police are also investigating a shooting on East Sprague Street today. This happened just after 10 last night. Police say one person was shot in the area, and officers found a second person shot a few blocks away. If you have any information about who did this, call Crime Stoppers.
A lawsuit between a speedway and the state health department is heading back to Alamance Superior Court. This week, the Court of Appeals ruled the speedway has a legitimate claim. The health department, you might remember, shut down the speedway in 2020 for what they called COVID-19 policy violations. The speedway's owners claim those rules violated their constitutional rights, and the state claims the opposite. They believe the case should be thrown out. But yesterday, the Court of Appeals ruled the speedway does have a legitimate claim and denied dismissing the case. More at-home COVID tests are available in Guilford County. They're giving out tests at 10 locations in Greensboro and High Point. The tests are free, but you are limited to only 4 of them. Make sure you get them while supplies last. They are first come, first served. So let's get to our second conversation of the morning. Entertainment taking the focus. What entertainment would you like to see in the Triad? That's the question. We're going to make sure that you have time to answer that while we dig into some of the details.
While you share your answers, let's get into what is coming soon. The godmother of soul, Patti LaBelle, headlining this year's John Coltrane Festival in High Point. Grammy award-winning artist Kirk Whalum and jazz bassist Christian McBride also will take the stage this Labor Day weekend. Tickets are on sale right now. State leaders are making a bid for a major music festival to come here. This week, Music Midtown canceled its event in Atlanta. Organizers blamed the circumstances out of their control, and now the governor is trying to woo them to our area.
Yeah, woo via Twitter. Yeah. He suggested the festival come here. In a tweet, he said, "Come on up to North Carolina. We're ready to welcome you and one of our amazing outdoor spaces to help you host a fun and safe festival." And then, by the way, a Guilford County representative got in on this and said, "Hey, come to Guilford County, Greensboro. We have lots of things to offer you here." So there's a little bit of back and forth on Twitter about that.
We'll see if that idea becomes a reality. If it does work out, it would be a big deal. Music Midtown generates about $50 million a year for its host city. This year's lineup included Fall Out Boy, Jack White, 2 Chainz, and Future. All right, so we, of course, are so well known for music here in the Triad, among many other things. So it's great to see these artists recognizing the value we bring. Of course, we see that every year with National Black Theater Festival. We see it with the Folk Festival. We certainly have the stages to support something like this, and, you know, not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are other economic incentives that would have to be discussed and worked
Of
out,
course.
but I think it's interesting that he's using this platform to kind of, get the word out that North Carolina is a great spot and taking, advantage of, one state's, issue or not being able to, seal the deal and saying, hey, come here. But states have done that to things that have happened here. Remember the All-Star NASCAR race?
Yep.
Had it in Charlotte for many eons of years and decades. And I think it was Tennessee that said, hey, let's take it. So, I think there's some competition because there's a lot of revenue that can come out of big events. And, the governor just kind of getting in on that as well.
The revenue, obviously very important for our community, but also just to have fun things to do. And I favor, things that the entire family can go to. I've always enjoyed the concerts that we've had, coming to the area, but other things as well. Anything outdoors, in the spring, summer, or even in the beautiful fall, outdoor activities and events and things like that are always fun. And it just gives families something to do, something fun to do. And a lot of our locals invite friends in from other areas to come and visit and go to those events. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when the weather is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is great. We're asking you here on our feed what events you would like to see entertainment-wise come to the Triad. Joanne said more Major League Baseball. She loves the Reds. Did you know there was a bid to get Major League Baseball here in North Carolina more than 30 years ago?
I remember
Did a story
that.
on it. Yeah, it was a huge deal. Ultimately, it did not come to fruition, but we certainly have some great minor league teams here.
Yes, yes.
Let's see, Dana said, she's from Atlanta, of course, and she said, well, initially from Greensboro. I know she's your close friend, but lives in Atlanta. She said she's sad Music Midtown is leaving the neighborhood, but a lot of liability in that area there.
All right, well, that was certainly a quick but great conversation. We need to move on to the forecast, and you need to move on towards the beginning of your day.
Yeah, get the day started on a fine note. It's a beautiful morning. We got plenty of sunshine, just a few clouds mixing in the afternoon, but mainly dry. Note the very low storm chance this afternoon and again tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures heat up into the lower 90s, a slightly better storm chance on Friday, not a washout day, near 90. Weekend, I know there's a lot going on. Been under the hot seat or on the hot seat because of, the big golf tournament, the Wyndham, and go out and have fun. Just keep an eye on the sky and your News 2 weather app. And of course, officials will let you know there if anything is approaching the course. It just seems like just about every year there is a few showers, but at no time do we see a washout for this big event in the Piedmont.
Yeah, a few years ago, I remember being on the course and obviously the sky was clear and then it wasn't. And everybody went like running.
Yeah.
And we just expected that, it was gonna be a fast moving, regular North Carolina storm, but they actually had to cancel play for that day and then, start earlier on Sunday because they had to finish the rounds on Saturday. So that was interesting. That doesn't happen all the time because normally it just happens.
Thankfully that does not happen. But you'll see other tournaments in other locations where they get, the rain and they have to postpone or cancel play, for that day or something like that. Hopefully it won't happen this weekend.
We're gonna cross
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. We will see you right back here tomorrow at 7:45 on the News 2 Facebook page.
Get out there and get to it. Let's make it a great day.